Hello, class, and welcome to AP Environmental Science. It's great to have you guys here. Congrats on taking an AP course. I'm really excited for you guys. My name is Elizabeth Bamer, and I will be your instructor for this course. This welcome video is to give an overview of how this course is set up. But as you run into questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me either with an email, a message on Moodle, or you can call or text my number, and I'll give you all that contact information. All right, so you want to go into our course in Moodle. Right underneath this picture, you'll see an announcement section where I post weekly announcements, kind of directing you for your study or coursework for that week. This course is an asynchronous class. You will have daily assignments to do, but you have to do them on your own. And each week starts on a Monday, and then you have assignments due Monday through Friday, but assignments are always due kind of that. I usually give you that Sunday at midnight to complete all these assignments. So look for a weekly announcement posted every week detailing that information. The instructor's office, here you can see a little bit more information about me, how to contact me. I have a Google Voice number, or you can email me at this amazinggraceva.org email address. You can also message me through Moodle. So please feel free to contact me directly if you need a really quick answer, but there are forums set up here that you can ask a general question and a general question here in this forum, and your other classmates will see it as well. Then there's a little bit of a page I created about me. Here's a picture of me with my 4 young children. I live with my husband, who's a missionary, and we recently moved to Mexico City. We were living in Ecuador for the past 5 years. And I have a master's degree in biology, and I teach at a variety of US institutions in biology, anatomy and physiology, chemistry and Spanish. But I'm a student just like you guys. I'm pursuing a PhD in leadership studies and education. And you can read more about me there. My favorite Bible verse is from the Great Commission, especially when Jesus reminds us that he is always with us. So I just wanted that to be an encouragement for you, regardless of how this class goes for you or how well the AP test goes. Jesus is always with you. He'll never leave you, and he has the greatest good in mind for your futures. So that's a little bit about me. I include a link to my LinkedIn profile if you want to know a little bit more about my professional and educational background. And then we get to class resources. You have your welcome video linked there. Read this next. I'm just going to open this up for you. A lot of these documents were created by the instructor who created this course. So I did not actually create this course. This course was created, I believe, by a previous professor at Wisconsin Lutheran College. Very smart, and he has a lot of great information in here. So you can read about the AP credit, how that can be attained, the course in general, what will be involved in it. We teach AP Environmental Science from a biblical perspective, so teaching us how God wants us to manage his earth that he's given to us. And then you can read a little bit more about your instructor, Paul Belke, who actually created this course. Very smart, a very great man who did this course for us. You're going to introduce yourself in the icebreaker section. And then down here, you need to click on this link. It opens up a section of Aldo Leopold's book that takes you to land ethics. And we want you to read these experts from the land ethics to comment on an assignment. But I just wanted to point you to that. In order to get to this excerpt page, you go to this Read This Next PDF, and that takes you to this land ethics article that will be in a future assignment here that I will show you. Here's a link to the syllabus, a guide to the course. This links you to the Amazing Grace Virtual Academy website where they keep all of our syllabi. The first semester schedule, if I pull that up, it pulls up a Word document that I will share with you now that lists basically the schedule for the first semester. You can see that every day has an activity for you to do. We start on August 26th, a Tuesday. We don't have class on Labor Day. And then you can see that all of them correspond to lessons and unit numbers. And your first exam will be during the week of September 22nd to 26th. You guys do have proctors, and I am in touch with your proctors for administering your exams. You'll fill them out, write in the answers, they'll scan them back, email them to me, and that's how I grade your exams. But here's a look at the schedule. You have 4 exams in the first semester, and the final exam will be comprehensive or cumulative, meaning it will be about everything we've learned. I provide study guides for you on each exam. So doing well in this course through Amazing Grace Virtual Academy is fairly simple. It's easy to do well in this course if you do all the work and you complete all your assignments. What'll be more difficult is actually then studying for your AP exam. We cover a lot of AP exam concepts in this course, but it's really going to be up to you to kind of go above and beyond and I'll show you how the AP website will also be a great preparation for you for that AP exam that hopefully you guys will want to take in May. And if you're not taking the AP exam, that's great too. This is a great course just to learn a lot. Okay, the discussion rubric, a lot of your grade is based on discussion and interaction with classmates. And discussions, I want you to take very seriously. So there's always kind of an initial discussion prompt that you need to answer. And then usually you need to have to respond to 2 or more classmates every week. And I want you to kind of use this discussion to interact with your classmates, kind of test each other, hold each other accountable for what you guys are learning that week. So ask each other questions, develop new ideas. Take these discussions seriously because even though this is an online class, this is how we're interacting in online academia. And if you go further on to your education and want to take further, online courses, a lot of them use discussion, weekly discussion posts like that for grading, and they're even more intense and they take a lot of time. All right, so here, please do this welcome activity forum to introduce yourself to the other students in the class. I think we have about 4 or 5 students in the class. So kind of explain to us what school you're attending or if you're homeschooled, what class are you in, meaning like what grade level are you, what activities do you have? Do you have a job, a driver's license? What are your plans for after high school? So feel free, you don't have to answer all those questions, but feel free to write as much as you want just so we can kind of get to know each other in that introduction discussion. All right, I'm just working my way down under this course resources. This is kind of what you want to work through first. The welcome activity introductions, I want you to try to do that by Tuesday at midnight. And then here's the forearm on that excerpts from the Land Ethics article by Aldo Leopold. What we want you to do for this is we want you to read and comment on this essay and how does this article relate to what you think we'll be learning throughout the course in environmental science. So I want you to kind of make your own post regarding to that introduction essay. Okay, so those 2 assignments I want you to try to do by Tuesday at midnight. That shows me that you've checked into this course and I know that you're kind of with me here. Here's the rubric for your first paper. This won't be till Unit 4, so you have some time to do this. This will be a rubric paper on population. I want you to write a clean essay of 2 or 3 pages, double space. That includes ideas from these lessons and other resources. And it will be out of 80 points. And please use APA 7 formatting for all citations and formatting and things like that. But that paper, I'll provide more instructions for that as the semester goes on. And that won't be till several weeks into the semester. But this is where you can find the rubric for that paper. Okay, AP Classroom join code. So this is very important. If you have not listened to much up until this point, please pay close attention to this. This is probably the most important part of the entire course, especially if you want to take the AP exam. When you go to the AP College Board website, you need to join our classroom with this join code. I'm going to be bugging you and making sure everyone is in our AP classroom. When you join the AP classroom, and it will be labeled like AGVA 25 to 26, you'll notice that there are 9 units. And within each unit, there are videos, there are topic questions. I've assigned everything to you from Unit 1, and I'm not grading you on these assignments. This is where you need to take this education into your own hands. And if you want to do well on the AP exam, I would encourage you to spend 20 minutes a day in this AP website because they give you all the resources necessary to do well on the exam. Again, we cover a lot in our Amazing Grace Virtual Academy class, but this AP website will be so helpful. All of these videos are done by university professors about these different topics. And there's a lot of videos. So even if you just try to watch 3 videos a week, maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, try to watch a video and then try to answer some topic questions. There's free response questions and there's multiple choice questions. And just getting into kind of the familiarity of how the AP exams will ask you questions will be really helpful when you take this exam in May. So I will be reminding you continually, like, hey, how many videos have you watched from the AP classroom? And how many practice questions have you done? At the end, there are even practice exams, which I'll probably assign more of the practice exams when we get to semester 2. Maybe I'll assign one at the end of semester 1. But you need to, in review, go to the College Board website, use this join code to get access for all of these study materials for the AP exam. So please do that, work on that on your own. In a way, again, this AP course is very manageable. You're going to notice that a lot of these assignments are easy. There's a lot of discussion, there are tests, but we try to give you time to work in to spend time with this AP classroom website. All right, I'll get off my soapbox for now. Required textbooks. These textbooks are very helpful. Feel free to get earlier editions as cheap as you want, but I would encourage you to get these textbooks because these are college level textbooks that will help you prepare for an AP course and an AP exam. So these are the 2 textbooks that we encourage you to get. And again, if you want to get an older edition or a PDF, or you can find cheaper ways to get it, that's totally fine, but I would encourage you to get those textbooks. There will be some assignments that ask you to go to a page in a textbook or look through something out of a textbook. All right, so that is all the opening information. Then you'll see that, and I've hidden all of the modules for you because I don't want you to get overwhelmed, but I have opened up the first introduction module for you. Each module corresponds to a week, and every week again goes Monday through Friday, except for this week because we start on a Tuesday. But I would encourage you to work through this course. And again, this course was, initially created by someone else, so this might not be my particular style of doing it, but it is very organized. So how I would encourage you to, work your way through the coursework is open up the what I need to do in this week 1, Tuesday, August 26th to Friday, August 29th. And what it does is it opens up and it shows you what you need to do on each day of the week. As a high school course, we are required to give you so many minutes of work each day. And you'll notice that each of this work every day will probably take you about 40 to 45 minutes. So for day 1, for example, Tuesday, you should watch this video, follow directions, read that land ethics article, respond and comment to that forum, read through the syllabus and general course information, and go through that icebreaker discussion. That's the welcome activity. Then you have things to do on day 2. Respond to 2 of your classmates, read through the lesson 1, read through the topic 1 guide sheet, and complete activity 1.1 by taking the quiz on 1.1. Then you have activities to do on Thursday and then Friday. So there are due dates shown for each day of the week. I'm usually pretty lenient on due dates, but as long as you get them due in by Sunday at midnight of the week, I provide a little leniency there. Looking ahead then at the bottom of this sheet, it always gives you, what to look ahead for. So your first test will be Monday, September 22nd to Friday, September 26th. So I would encourage you to kind of keep this page up at all times as you're working your way through the course. And then, I'm going to open up this in a new tab. So we're going to go back to here, but if you notice, I'm going to keep the what I need to do kind of tab open just to make sure I'm hitting all those markers for assignments every day. All right, so that's the what I need to do. Lesson 1 overview. This is another, just a basic overview of lesson 1, the principles and motivation for caring for the environment will be explained in readings and discussion, and then the lesson objectives for this week. So that just gives you an overview of this lesson in the first week. And then here's a guide sheet. This is another window that I would encourage you to keep open because this is kind of a guide sheet. This is almost like, in addition to your textbook, what you'll want to read through. And it takes you through all of what you'll be learning about that week as well. And then within here, it kind of highlights the activities that you'll be working on. And then you can see some principles and so forth. And then here's another activity that's posted there. So again, as you're working through, your coursework, each module, so this is introduction module. Next week, it's hidden for you, but you can see that it'll be Unit 2.1, Earth Science Concepts. So each week is laid out the same way. Keep up the kind of the lesson guide sheet, and then the what I need to do each day. And those will kind of be just your markers for making sure you're getting everything done. Here's a quiz you have due, the forum on principles. This is a discussion forum. Post a principle and give an example of that, and then constructively comment on 2 other posts. So that's the forum that it's describing in your lesson guide. The lesson 1 wrap up and the lesson 1 feedback. These are where it basically is more for the instructor to add in any extra information about wrapping up lesson 1 and for you to provide any feedback. The feedback is not graded. However, we're always trying to improve these future lessons. So if you want to provide feedback on the most interesting challenge or how we could improve a lesson, you're welcome to post your feedback, but that is not graded. So I'm going to pause there. Please feel free to reach out to me. Again, all of my contact information is shown in the instructor's office forum. I will be, posting an announcement, which you will see. I always post announcements early Monday morning. Great to have you guys in class. Please follow instructions. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and God's blessings to each of you. Take care, everybody.